Steve Thurman here with Ford Financial, and this is your Friday feature. Today I'm sitting with Mr. Richard Buhrman with the Buhrman Law Firm, and he's going to talk a little bit about his services, what he offers, and the importance of what he does when it comes to finance, retirement planning, and end-of-life planning.
So, my name is Richard Buhrman. I'm a Chattanooga native. I went to the public schools here in Chattanooga and then to the University of Chattanooga, where I took ROTC and got a commission in the Army. I got my active duty deferred while I went to Duke Law School on a scholarship. After law school, I went on to active duty as a captain in the Army for 3 years during Vietnam. And following that tour of duty, I used the GI Bill to go back and got an extra law degree, a master's in tax law. And finally, I came back home to practice law, not knowing what lawyers did. And I worked for a big firm for a while, and I discovered early on that that wasn't my style. And so I broke off and I practiced in a smaller group. And today, the Lord has blessed me because one of my sons is with me, John Buhrman. So we have a 2-lawyer firm. We're located on the North Shore on Fraser Avenue, and we do estate planning, corporations, wills and trusts, probate, contracts, things like that. We do not do car wrecks or divorces. And so over the years, I've determined that educating clients to be able to make good decisions is an important element to my practice and service to clients. And so we've developed handouts, which we customarily give out in the first conference, or sometimes we mail them or email them ahead of time, so the clients can have an idea about things they should decide on, decisions they should make. For example, we customarily provide 4 documents: a last will and testament, a financial power of attorney, a healthcare power of attorney, and then a living will or advance directive. Now, the last will and testament is the document where you say how your assets are to be distributed when you die. The other documents deal with situations that come about sometimes while you're alive. The powers of attorney are more critical probably than a last will and testament. If you do not have a power of attorney in place and you suffer a stroke or Alzheimer's or in a bad wreck or somehow disabled, and there's no advanced planning and you have no documents, the alternative is a very expensive and aggravating conservatorship. So we highly recommend that clients sign and execute powers of attorney. Now, don't let the term scare you. The power of attorney has nothing to do with a lawyer. That's simply the title of the document. It's a contract whereby one person, the principal, names a second person, the agent, to act on their behalf. And so I've done this with myself. If I become disabled, my wife is my agent under my powers of attorney. And if she is unable to serve, for example, if she dies first and then I become disabled, the document has a backup, usually a succession of appointments. So there's no need to have new documents when there's a change in facts or circumstances. So we customarily provide our clients with a last will and testament, a financial power of attorney, a healthcare power of attorney, and then a living will or advance directive. And that's the document that you sign while you're alive and give instructions about what sort of treatment you want if you become terminally ill. Now, one thing we have done over the years is we've determined, since people don't like attorneys, and the reason is the cost, they're unsure of the cost, we have a price list. We have a price list for different kinds of documents that we prepare, and we go over those with a potential client in the first meeting, so they're comfortable with the service we're going to provide, the documents we're going to prepare, and then the cost. And so that's what my son John and I do, and we're here to provide what I think is quality service at a very reasonable and fair price to the client.
Fantastic. Could you speak very briefly on different stages in life, specifically too. Let's talk about what a young family might need your services for, and then if you could follow that up with what somebody moving into retirement might need your services for.
For young couple, especially those with minor children, they would need a will that would have a contingent trust in it. For example, the will might say, when I die, everything goes to my spouse, but if my spouse is already deceased, then everything goes in a trust for my children. So that's the kind of a will that a young couple would need with children that are not adults. And the adult age is 18 in Tennessee, and that's when you're legally an adult, but quite often that's too young to be fully grown and mature to be able to handle an inheritance. So a will with a trust for children is important. Then on the other side of the coin, for an elderly person, they would want to have a trust with they established presently, not in a will, but a separate trust agreement. It's called a revocable living trust. So this is a trust to which assets would be transferred either while the person is alive or upon their death, and the trust would manage the assets for the client or then the client's family if the client became disabled or incapacitated, for example, went to a nursing home to live. This would provide a management of the assets to take care of the client and the client's family. So there are two extremes. One is a will to take care of young children, and the other is a trust to take care of an elderly client.
Fantastic. Both very, very important. If you can just follow up with the, again, where you're located, and if you want to throw out a phone number as well.
Certainly.
This is Buhrman Law Firm is who I have chosen to deal with in these matters for myself, my wife, and my two young daughters. So I give them my stamp of approval, and if you want to go ahead and share your information, we'll go ahead and close it out.
We're in the North Shore in a building, a red brick office building, a 4-story building at the corner of Fraser and Tremont. The street address is 345 Fraser Avenue. We're on the 2nd floor. We have a web page, buhrmanlaw.com, where you can access and read about us, our credentials, our experience, our education, and also there's some information in the web page about decisions that a client should make. Our phone number is 423-266-5691, Buhrman Law Firm. And I've been at this some 50 years now, and my son has been with me almost 20 years now. And this is the kind of work we do, estate planning, helping people with wills and trusts, getting their affairs in order. We all owe the Lord a death. So to the extent you can prepare for your death and make it easy on your family, I think the Lord would be pleased with that when it's your time. And so we're here to help you get ready.
Fantastic. And that's Buhrman, correct?
Correct. Right.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time, Richard. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Steve.
And we'll see you Monday for the Monday Money Minute. Have a great weekend. Enjoy Labor Day, folks. Take care.